Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die. Proceed to party.
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na, da-na-na-na. Da-na-na. He had a fast machine. He kept his nose clean. He was the best damn racer I've ever seen. He had the sightless eyes telling me no lies, knocking me out with that last lap pass. There you go. Taking more than his share, had Bowman fighting for air. I was cheering for Chris, but he was already there. 'Cause the walls start shaking, the earth was quaking, my mind was aching, and we were making, and you shook me all night long. Da-da-da. Yeah, Blaney, shook me all night long. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Woo! Go 12! Out of nowhere! Where did he come from? Where did he come from?
Like 14th.
I'm still trying to figure out where the motherfucker came from.
Like 14th.
You know what he did? He pulled a Dale Sr. Talladega 2000. Is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT at restrictor plate race?
Let's hope next year's Daytona 500 doesn't end like Dale Senior's.
Damn, I forgot about that.
2001.
No, we don't want that, Blaney. I love you. Go 12! YRB got it done out of nowhere. And it was so weird because I wasn't cheering for the fucker all night. Didn't pay attention to him all night.
Yeah.
And then on the last lap, he pulled the victory. Or no, what's that saying? He snatched the
from the claws of defeat.
Yes.
I knew that's where you're going.
Somebody else said it backwards though, didn't they? It was kind of funny. Snatched the victory out of.
You snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yeah.
It's when you lose when you shouldn't.
Yeah. We've done that quite a bit on college football.
Never once. Though I did download.
No, the other way. Like we should have won and we lost it.
No, I'm undefeated. Never lost.
Okay. North Texas. You check your North Texas record this year.
Hey,
because two of them losses are from yours truly with the Rice Owls. Woo!
You knew I got fucked in that first game. The second game,
and then you also lost the football game too.
Yes. But I did.
How you doing, buddy? I'm excited.
I'm doing awful.
College football's about to start.
Thank God.
We got Blaney winning.
We
do have Chris Buescher out of the playoffs.
I wish this was a football podcast. I'd have a lot more fun talking about that right now.
I'm all jacked up out Mountain Dew.
I did download Madden, the 10-hour free gameplay, because I've
heard it's not that bad.
It's better than it's been, and I did just snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, though, in Game 5, I believe. Maybe it was Game 4, whatever. I was undefeated going into playing the Bengals.
Why are you mad? It's just game.
Well, because I was up 24-0 at halftime and lost.
That's
31-24.
You can't. You can't do that this week.
But I will say this: Joe Burrow apparently is
in the pocket like Burrow
is the quickest human being on the face of the planet. That motherfucker ran for like 300 yards.
I need him to do that for my fantasy team this year. I drafted him.
But it's not bad. It's not bad. I signed a running back off the Dallas Cowboys practice squad to join my team. Filma Offa. I did sign him because I traded my backup.
Did I ever tell you what?
I wanted R.J. Harvey.
So he switched from 26 to 7. While he's at Clemson. His first couple of years, he was wearing 26. And me and my dad would always call him 2-6 Mafia.
2-6 Mafia. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The problem
Need
with that is
to make his number 26.
he's a bitch. But
You're the one that picked him up.
yeah, I picked him up.
He scored in the preseason game for Dallas this week, and then he got sent to IR.
Yeah. But
A touchdown cost him his whole career, probably.
Bo Nix is leading the league in passing and passing touchdowns.
It's preseason.
Also, no, I'm talking about in Madden.
Oh.
Also leading the league in interceptions. I had 5 in the first 2 games.
Bo Nix, the most powerful quarterback in the league.
Anyways, but yeah, that's what I finally won the World Series with my
I was about
Colorado
to say.
Rockies. Let's go, 2032.
Took you long enough.
Swept the White Sox,
I don't
if that
think-
tells you anything.
How many games did you win in that year?
I wasn't that good. I think I was the 3rd seed. I think I won like 98, 92.
Yeah, that
something
might
like
be the total record of wins.
the next
more
2
than
seasons.
more than what you're going to win until that point for the
Yeah.
Rockies in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah. But no, won the World Series,
I can't talk. The Braves suck.
swept the White Sox. That's how long it's been in my franchise that the Rockies and the White Sox are both playing in the
And they're
World
the both
Series. So
worst 2 teams in the league.
yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah, it is college football week. Yippee. South Carolina's going to go down to Georgia on Sunday before Darlington, and I'm telling you right now, we can get into this a little bit later if you want to.
Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I said, in Atlanta before Darlington next week.
Georgia. You said Georgia. I know it's, but it makes people seem like you're playing Georgia.
Okay, well, we're going down to Atlanta to play Virginia Tech.
Go Hokies.
I'm telling you right now.
You got your running back. I saw.
Yeah.
Face on or whatever his name is.
Rasul Fajan. We're gonna beat Virginia Tech by 35.
Oh, really? Is that what? I'm pretty sure that's what you said about North Carolina 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure that's what you said about Old Dominion last year, and you about lost to Old Dominion, and you got shit on by North Carolina.
We're gonna beat Virginia Tech by 35.
I hope.
I'd be surprised.
I about said Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
I hope Kyron Drones throws 150 touchdowns on you.
The only problem with that is he's like the only player on that team worth a fuck.
He is.
They lost everybody.
If
That coach is gonna get fired.
they would
this
have
year.
Trent Davis on their squad, former Heisman winner, but they don't.
Yeah. And I am. The closer we get to it, the more likely I am to pick Clemson to win this game this weekend. For some reason, I
Yeah.
just got Clemson winning that one.
I got the Tigers for sure.
And I've got Ohio State beating Texas.
I kind of agree with you on that one,
So-
but we'll get into it at the very end
Yeah.
of the show. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I been working.
Wait, this isn't the college football podcast?
No, it's
I'm
not.
going home then.
All
Fuck
right.
NASCAR.
All right, cool.
I'm done with that shit.
Hey, you still got your gay boys and Denny and Joey to cheer for. More Joey than gay than Denny, but
You mean
Denny's come around
you
on
mean
me.
3-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Joey Logano? First ballot Hall of Famer Joey Logano?
Yeah, probably. I'm not arguing that. Doesn't mean I gotta like the guy. And you can cheer for Blaney
No, I can't.
again. Yes, you can. Why can't?
Fuck Blaney.
What'd he do? He didn't do nothing wrong.
No, I didn't. But I made that stance at the beginning of the year. Fuck Blaney.
You don't have to hate him. You
Fuck
just
Blaney. I hate Blaney.
if he was
He might
was
as
your
well
third
be-
guy last year, he should be your fourth guy this year.
He might as well.
So your top 3 guys you should cheer for in the playoffs is Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, or Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano in that order.
I want SVG to win the championship.
That's definitely not going to happen. Oh, I forgot about SVG. Yeah, SVG can be sprinkled in there as well. But I'm doing all right. Working all week.
I don't give
Still
a
work.
fuck.
Huh?
I don't care.
I don't. I'm about to hit you upside the head. You are not taking this high away from me.
Fuck you.
Sounds like I'm doing cocaine.
I wish I would.
I cut the grass on Sunday,
I saw you.
and it started thundering and lightning when I was almost done with this part of the front yard, and I'm like, yeah. Way my luck is, I'm going to get fucking electrocuted and die. I thought about just staying out there holding the lawnmower
Yeah.
without it moving, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to die tonight. I've had a good weekend. I want to see Clemson win on Saturday, so I just pulled it in. So half my yard was not cut for 2 days. I went outside when I got off work today and finished cutting it. So my grass might be a little uneven,
That'd be all right.
but oh well. But I'm doing great.
I don't care.
I got some business. This is the problem, though. I haven't had a beer in almost a month.
No, in a month. Today's your day. You can start drinking today, right?
No, it's Thursday. So I'm breaking the thing just because of YRB. Got to go with my boy here. So, and it sucks I can't enjoy this beer. I gotta open it up and let it go down my throat
Yeah, I
and just take it.
wish I was putting something in the back of my throat.
You could have brought one.
Nope.
You could have. For your misery of RFK not making the playoffs.
Hey, I'm gonna start drinking when Parker Kligerman wins.
I'm gonna be waiting a while for that one.
Hey,
I mean, he did win Friday.
he's won two.
Technically-
he's won two damn races
Two
at Daytona this year.
This week, huh?
This year, and ain't none of them count.
Yeah, I'm about to say it counts towards Connor. All right, here we go. Got a shotgun, a Busch Light for the first time in a while, and I have a beer for the first time. I will be drunk after this.
Yep.
Using the keys by Embry Key and Lock.
Yes.
It's gonna be okay, bro. You're gonna enjoy the playoffs.
I
Chris
hate-
Buescher's gonna win this weekend.
I hate super speedway racing.
Thought it was awesome. We'll get into that in a minute.
I thought it was shit. Thought the pre-race was shit. I thought the race was shit. I thought the post-race was shit. And I don't even watch the post-race. I turned the damn race off. As soon as I saw that Blaney was going to win, I literally grabbed the remote, turned that
Hey.
bitch off. I didn't even see, because I watched the last lap again. And I didn't even see Chris wrecking. That's how quick I turned it
Oh,
off.
yeah, he wrecked after the dude. What the hell?
That's how fast I hit the power button on my television.
I thought you said you didn't even see him pass the checkered
I
flag.
saw Blaney take the checkered, and I turned the TV off.
Well, would you have rather seen, because Chris didn't have a shot at that point, would you have rather seen like Justin Haley or somebody win
Yes.
to knock Bowman out?
Yes. To spite Hendrick Motorsports. Fuck them.
And I'm spilling the beer.
You are just terrible at this. Turn it up towards...
Whatever. All right.
Put your mouth on the hole.
I know how to. Okay, I know this.
Turn it up and crack the beer.
Would you calm down?
This guy can't fucking shotgun a beer.
I ain't done it in like 2 months.
I ain't done it in a fucking year and a half. Literally, last time I did it was when fucking Chris won at Watkins Glen.
Did it when Blaney won at Martinsville in November.
Did I? I don't recall. I shouldn't have. Fuck that dude.
All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think I did it backwards. Whatever. All right.
And...
YRB winning Daytona. Let's go.
Boom.
First beer in forever.
Fuck that dude.
Count me down.
3, 2, 1, go. God damn it. I'm wearing the beer. And still slow as fuck. Good to see you hadn't gotten any better at that.
How about laughed?
About laughed, you sprayed it everywhere. I think you got some on the damn look at the paper up there.
That's just the light. That's your reflection. I'm sorry. I'm too jacked up right now. I'm drunk. I get some on you?
Yeah, I've already wiped it. I'm good.
Hey,
Yeah. It's actually my sock. But
I apologize.
damn, son.
Woo, let's go 12.
Fuck 12.
Yeah, that was not my best one, for sure.
It smells good.
It does. It
I'll go home
tasted
and get-
amazing.
I'm gonna go home and get me
And that's
one.
why I took my time. I was trying to enjoy it. Oof, I ain't had one in a while.
Yeah.
Just to think, if Chris doesn't choke the race,
Chris
could be doing both
Chris
of them
didn't
right
choke
now.
the race.
I know he didn't, but we can say that he did because that makes me feel better.
No, he didn't. It just circumstances. And
Shook me out.
Same with Priest.
Priest really cost him the race. Cost you a chance at shotgun.
No.
He went to the top when he shouldn't have.
Priest did nothing wrong. Priest put himself in the perfect position to win that race.
Knowing there's 2 Hendrick cars behind
and he
him.
would have won the race
That's what I'm saying. He
if
knew,
it wasn't a Hendrick
he
car
knew
behind him.
there were 2 Hendrick cars behind him.
Yes.
When he made that move.
Yes.
If he waits and try to move the 7 out the way, well, the 7 has to go block the top with the Hendrick cars. Then you got Chris and Ryan on the bottom together.
Yeah, that's true. But, you got to take the run when you get
I
it that
know,
late.
and I usually would agree with that. If he
wasn't-
understood the cars that he jumped in front of.
I wasn't super mad at it. What I was hoping would
I wasn't
happen.
mad at it. It was just kind of a dumb move.
What I was hoping would happen
A little
is
bit. Sorry.
I was hoping that the 7 and the 17 would clear the 60, and Chris would be able to move up in front of Priest, and they would have the top. But it never happened.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'll just say it now. I am not saying that the 5 or who was it, the 9?
24.
Was it the 24? I thought it was the 9.
No, it wasn't on. Yeah, you're right.
Whoever, the 2 Hendrick cars that were there, I'm not saying that they did anything wrong,
Yeah, there you go.
but fuck the Hendrick cars, dude. It's always the fucking Hendrick cars. It's always the fucking Hendrick cars for me.
And it's always the 5 too. Last year, thinking about Brad at Talladega, he didn't push.
Didn't push him. Obviously.
That one was more egregious because
Yeah.
there was really nothing.
I mean, he made a pass today, so Saturday. So I mean, it is what it is. But like, it's always those fucking cars fucking me. You know, you think back to last year's Daytona 500. Who wrecked the entire field? The Hendrick cars.
And who won the race?
Who won the race? The Hendrick cars. Who won the Daytona 500 this year? The Hendrick cars. Who won at Atlanta when Brad was supposed to win? Fucking Hendrick car.
Who won Atlanta this year?
That's what I meant.
Passing this.
Who
When
won
we
at
were
Atlanta?
there? You said when we were there.
No, I said who won Atlanta this year.
Oh, I thought you said.
And
when we
who
were
won
there.
Atlanta when we were there?
Yeah.
The fucking Hendrick cars. It's always the fucking Hendrick cars.
Hey, get better.
Jimmy Johnson winning fucking 5 championships in
I
a row.
was right there with you on that one.
When it should have been a fucking Roush car every year. The fucking Hendrick cars. It's always the fucking Hendrick cars. The bane of my existence when it comes to motorsports. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them.
Fuck them all. Fuck them by.
It's partly the reason I'll never root for one. I cannot like anybody that ever drives for Rick Hendrick.
I said the same thing about Roush when I was a kid. 'Cause Roush and
Oh,
Hendrick
yeah.
went back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Because the Roush guys were always getting in Jeff Gordon's way.
They were Matt Kenseth.
Oh,
Greg Biffle.
One year he won one race. And he won the championship.
Not what-
And we didn't see it.
That's not what I'm talking about. They had a rivalry a little bit.
They got into each other one
Jeff and
time
Greg,
at Bristol.
Greg took some wins away from Jeff. Not dirty, just beat him. Carl, same thing, which I like. I liked Carl.
But nah, fuck them. Fuck the Hendrick cars. Fuck Daytona. Super Speedway racing has become the bane of my existence as well.
I think it's awesome.
I fucking hate it. It's the worst.
So you really enjoyed the race?
I did. I mean, it was a good race, but I mean, it was
Awesome,
probably the
man.
best super speedway race we've seen in this car. But
Other than Atlanta.
yeah, other than Atlanta, I'm not really counting Atlanta in that. I'm talking historically a super speedway
speedways,
race.
yeah.
Better than any Talladega race and better than any Daytona race to date in these cars. But I mean, goddamn, the ending is just so frustrating. You know, having 2 guys in the top 3 with 5 to go and nothing to show for it. You know, Brad was fast all night until, you know, he got back in traffic because he didn't really have a good pit stop and they had to add extra fuel in the car and he got stuck back
Which
there.
that was his fault.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
He stopped short.
Yeah, but I mean, he was
And he pulled
probably
up,
he was
then he
probably
left too early.
told to stop short because of the car pit. I mean, it's part of it, but
Yeah, but it is his mistake.
it's just one of those things, man, that you know you go into a race knowing that you're going to have a shot to win and that you got, you know, your guys have some of the best equipment out there when it comes to this type of racing, and 2 of them are really good at it that you've seen, and one of them you think's pretty good at it, and they're all there competitive, and none of them can get it done through, you know, whatever circumstances you want to say. You know, Chris being boxed in is kind of frustrating, you know, nowhere to go with Justin Haley in front of you. And then with Ryan having the Hendrick cars behind him, obviously when I saw that he was in front of those 2 Hendrick cars, he was in trouble. And then they shipped him out of there, said see you later. And then, of course, Brad was stuck on the bottom back there in 330 seconds. So just a frustrating end of the race, which it was a really good race to that point. So went to bed pissed off, woke up pissed off, spent the next couple days pissed off. I'm still pissed off. Gonna go into Darlington pissed off, and thank God it's college football season because I got nothing to look forward to as far as NASCAR goes for the next 10 weeks. So, hopefully my guys can go out and win some races now that it doesn't matter like they did last year, or at least one of them did last year, and build towards 2026. So that's what I got to look forward to as far as racing goes.
Yeah, it sucks for Chris. Like I said, I was watching. I don't know if I said this on air. I might have said it before we turned the cameras on, but I watched at 17 all night. That was my main guy. I had Chris Buescher apparel through and throughout. I didn't have anything else. I didn't have Chase on. I didn't have Blaney on. I was full on Chris Buescher fan mode on Saturday, just knowing the circumstances, and I watched at 17 all night long. I barely even paid attention to the 12 or the 9, and it felt weird, but I knew the circumstances that I really didn't care that much about the 12 or the 9 because it would help them get playoff points if they had a good day and could win the race, but that wasn't what I was looking forward to. I was hoping for Chris to win, get himself into playoffs, and have all three of my guys in the playoffs. And Chris, for the second year in a row, just couldn't get it done. And he's 10th in points, around the same place he was in points last year. And it's just he's gotten bit by these winners, like Austin Dillon, like a Shane. If you want to, I know he won 4 races, but road course Merchant haven't won on oval. Josh Berry, Austin Cindric at Talladega. Like if any of these guys don't win, Chris is in the playoffs easily, and it just sucks that he's out again. But I don't know if he'd have a chance to win the championship this year, but he deserves to be in the playoffs, and he's not just because he couldn't get the job done and pull it in Victor Lane one time out of these 26 races. So that sucks. But it took me a minute to enjoy Blaney winning because I had focused all my attention all night on that 17. And when I realized he wasn't going to have a shot, I was like, well, this sucks. And then I see Blaney coming, and I'm like, all right, this is a hell of a consolation prize. So I thought it was a great race overall. I mean, just passing throughout the field, handling mattered, tires mattered, the track was slick. And I really enjoyed it. It was the best super speedway race other than Atlanta in this next gen car, and you had guys lose it off of 4 a lot. We seen that on the old car when we had great super speedway racing, and we had the same thing on Saturday night. So, coming from 13th to 1st for Blaney, I don't give a shit what generation of car you do that in. That is impressive, and especially with this car, I think it's harder than any other car we've ever done. To do that, and obviously I know he had help, but we've never seen that work in the next gen car, and he made it work, and that proves why he's one of the best, if not the best, super speedway racer in the Cup Series right now. He's got 3 wins at Talladega, and he's got 2 wins at Daytona now. He's got 5. That's pretty damn good. Doesn't always get the wins, gets wrecked a lot, but he's always up there. And Saturday night, he started on pole and kind of really wasn't up there after he lost the track position at first. Never saw him until that last lap. So he waited to the very end to make his move, and it worked. And you got to give him credit. And love to see it. Great race. Talk about the wreck here in a minute, but I thought it was the best super speedway race in this next gen car, and I hope we can build upon this for the Daytona 500 next year, for the Talladega fall race in October. Because we have a blueprint now on how we can. Past 2 weeks have been really good races, and after having a summer of very dull races, it's good to go into the playoffs with some momentum, because I have a feeling it always is, no matter what car we bring, the Southern 500 this weekend coming up is always a great race. Don't know why that is, but it always is. So we can have 3 straight races of good racing. We're on the right track. Doesn't mean the car's fixed or nothing like that, so we got some stuff to work on. But overall, I thought this race was great. 9 out of 10. Still fuel saving a little bit too much in the middle of the race. I get it. But if we can get that out, the shorter stages, I think, help that. I think we have a product that super speed racing is not something we have to dread anymore.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hopefully they can continue the run that they're on this weekend at Darlington, which I think they will. I mean, Darlington, like you said, is always really good. So, we'll see. My guys are pretty good there historically, so at least I got a little bit to look forward to on that this weekend. But you spoke on talking about the wrecks that happened Saturday night. The first one, of course, is the Reddick thing.
I thought he choked it away.
Yeah, who was it turned down?
No, it was his fault. It was his fault. He just came up off of 4 and clipped the 34. He said it after the race. He's like, I can't believe I made that mistake.
I guess I'm kind of forgetting how that wreck happened. I know they were coming off of 4.
About to go in the tri-oval, and he just kind of tri-oval. Or it was a little bit before the tri-oval, but he just kind of...
It was before pit
he
road.
moved up a little bit and just...
Yeah.
He tried to go into that hole behind the 34, and he wasn't clear.
Gotcha. And then the second wreck was the big one, which was Bubba's fault.
I think it's more of a racing deal.
Yeah, it was a racing
I think
deal.
it's kind
but
of Larson's fault
No, it wasn't.
more than anybody.
It was him, Logano, and the 5.
Well,
right?
the 5 was behind the 23.
That's right.
The 23, the 22, and the 8.
That's right. And they were kind of 3 wide there, and I think Bubba didn't know that they were 3 wide, and Bubba kind of
Squeezed
the 22
But he also
down.
got hit from the 5.
Sure, he did. Sure, but I think at the 20 or at the 23 would have not squeezed down towards the middle of the track. Obviously, I think not knowing that they were 3 wide right there, that wreck doesn't happen. That's why I blame the 23, because the push wasn't what caused the wreck. It was the fact that the 23 put himself in a bad position. And I'm not blaming the driver. I think that's a Freddie Kraft issue, and I think Freddie Kraft even said that, if anything, it was his fault. I think he said it on his podcast, Door Bumper Clear, this week. But, that one's, like you said, more of a racing deal than anything. But if you're assigning blame to anybody, I would blame the 23 team on that. And that wreck took out a lot of good cars.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, took out
my pick, Kyle.
Took out the 48, took out Kyle Busch.
Zane Smith,
Zane
Riley
Smith,
Herbst,
Herbst.
Zoe Noah Gregson.
The 11 was in it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that you were expecting. Austin Hill was in it.
Fuck that guy.
A lot of guys that you would expect to have a pretty decent day on a super speedway were caught up in that one, which during the middle of that race I thought it might be a good thing, at least for me that happened. Looking towards the end of the race, I don't know how that wreck affects the end of the race, knowing that there more than likely would have been another big wreck, if there wasn't one then later on. But didn't end up helping me at all, even though none of my guys were in it. So, kind of a wreck you expect to see. Not really, because I don't even think we were in stage 2 when that happened. It was the end of stage 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, stage 1 was pretty quick.
Maybe it was the beginning of stage 2.
Yeah, I think so.
But it was early.
It might have been stage 1.
It was early when that wreck happened, and then
like lap 68 or 9 or something.
But yeah, and then was there another big wreck? No, that was really it. Really. that I'm thinking of.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I mean, there were a couple other wrecks.
Yeah, you had B.J. McLeod hitting the fence, which should have been a caution, and it wasn't.
Joe Logano spinning out.
Yeah, that's another one. That was
10 to go
Joey's
or
fault.
12 to go.
And I think that was the wreck that kind of screwed Chris.
I agree. Because that caution didn't come out until after Chris had lost like 4
Yeah.
slots because he had to check up.
Which changed the running order and where we were picking. And obviously Joey's fault, but I think if Joey's still there at the end of that race, because Chris was running, leading the bottom line, Joey was leading the top line, I think Joey
Gets hoed by the Hendrick cars.
Gets hoed by the Hendrick cars.
Were they behind him
Yeah,
at that point?
I think so. And then I think Chris is leading that bottom line, and I think he wins the race, or at least has an opportunity
Problem
to.
is he had Ty Gibbs behind him.
Yeah, but I mean, you guard the bottom, and Ty's got to push you. I mean, so he either wrecks you or pushes you to the win. I mean, he's not going to lift. So I think that would have helped a little bit more if Joey didn't lose it off of 4 there, because I think that is what happened. I think he lost it. Now, obviously, I think whoever it was got into him. Maybe not, but I think he did, and turned him down once he kind of started losing it off of 4, and Chris got in it a little bit, but I think the track position was the biggest detriment to Chris in that wreck. And then surprisingly enough, they raced to the finish, which after that green flag came out after that wreck, I was totally expecting another wreck. And, they never had one, so unfortunately they didn't have one based on the way it finished. But yeah, I mean, kind of a clean race. The one big wreck kind of made sure that was going to happen. I texted you after the big wreck and said, hey, it's probably going to be a pretty boring, next 100 laps. And to be fair, it wasn't, but it also wasn't, super aggressive like it was up to that point, because they were racing really hard in that first stage and a half.
Yeah, I forgot who mentioned this. Feels like when you have smaller packs with this next-gen car at these super speedways, I think you get better racing overall, because the pack's just not that big, so that dirty air isn't as much, so you can make moves. I don't know if that's the biggest reason why we had such a pretty good race. When we saw Atlanta, when half the field got taken out, and that was one of the best races ever, with only like 15, 20 competitive cars left. We've seen these Daytona races and Talladega races in that gen car. Nobody really wrecks until the end, and it's pretty much gridlock. And it's because these packs are so big. I mean, that might be a main or one of the biggest reasons we see these bad races.
I think the reason that happens is because when you have a pack of 20 cars and you pull out, trying to make a move, and you lose some spots, you fall back to 15th.
Instead of
35th. And also, if you pull out, the guy that behind you is more likely to pull out as well, knowing the same thing. And even if you only have 2 or 3 guys that jump to that outside row, those 2 or 3 guys are more likely to gain positions, because that middle row doesn't have 30 cars behind it.
Yeah.
It really evens out how many cars are in each row, so I think it makes it more conducive to be able to make moves.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that's something to not look into. You obviously don't have to field wreck every time we get to a super speedway, but
as long as the Hendrick cars are in it.
But no, I thought the Reddick just made a big mistake, and if Bowman doesn't get involved in that wreck and we have a new winner and he misses the playoffs, I mean he'll be thinking about that one forever. But he got away with it. And then the big one, I think it's a racing deal. You could blame Bubba. You can blame Kyle Larson. You could blame the Joey and Kyle for being that aggressive as well. But I really enjoyed the aggressiveness of all these drivers, because yeah, you had one big wreck, but it's kind of a racing thing. It wasn't like just somebody going like Carson Hocevar just throwing it in there and making a stupid move and causing a huge pile up. It wasn't somebody throwing a crazy block to get clipped and take out half the field. It was controlled chaos is how I describe this race. It was fun, man. There was tons of times during this race where I was like, oh, they're going to wreck. Oh, they're going to wreck. Oh, God. Oh, he did that. Oh, my God. And they all, for the most part, held on to it, held a pretty wheel, like Clint Boyer would say, and they kept going. And I give these NASCAR drivers and these Cup guys credit, because they could have went out around there and gridlocked the whole time, ran into 2x2, 3x3 train all night, and they never did. And other than a small little portion, I think at the beginning of Stage 3, maybe a little bit in Stage 2 as well. But so I give these NASCAR drivers credit. They put on a good show. We got a legitimate finish with not too many bullshit things happening in the middle between lap 1 and lap 160. So I give these NASCAR guys a lot of credit for putting on a great show. I hope we can see this in Talladega in October, round of 8. It's a big race, could determine who's in the championship for. I want that race to be good. I don't want it to be gridlocked like you've seen for most of these drafting style tracks at Talladega and Daytona. I want them to put on this type of show. I want them to put on a show at Atlanta like we saw earlier in the summer. So step in the right direction. Let's keep working on this car. But that was just, Daytona ain't been paved in a long time. So like I said, tire wear mattered, handling mattered. And that, like I said, you put the drivers in control of their race cars, and you're gonna get better racing. And I think that's what we saw on Saturday night. So really good race, and I hope we get more of it.
I don't.
You just hope there's a RFK car in victory lane at the end of one of these races.
I hope South Carolina's good this year. God, that's what I hope.
I'm gonna laugh they lose to Virginia Tech. You might kill yourself.
I wouldn't do that. Never.
The reasons that's a joke.
I would never do that.
You've never said that anyways.
No. With that being said, though, the new schedule is out.
You got it.
For
it happened right after we got done with the podcast.
Yeah, literally dropped like as I was walking home. But first 2 weeks are the same. You got Clash and Daytona. February 1st is the Clash, still at Bowman Gray. Daytona 500 will be ran February 15th. And then we go to Atlanta, which is the same as last year, right? They ran Atlanta second race of the year. This year.
They ran it last year, too.
Then they go to Coda. Then they go to Phoenix. Then they go to Vegas. Then they go to Darlington.
A lot earlier than normal.
Which is earlier than normal. Then they go to Martinsville. They got an off week. First weekend of April. That's Easter. Then they go to Bristol. Then they go to Kansas. Then they go to Talladega. Then they go to Texas. Then they go to Watkins Glen, which is a lot earlier than usual. Then they have the All-Star race, which is at Dover. Those are all of your Fox races. Then you got Charlotte, Nashville, Michigan, Pocono, and San Diego street course. Those are your Amazon Prime races. Sonoma, Chicagoland, Echo Park, which is Atlanta. North Wilkesboro gets a points-paying race. And Indianapolis. Those are your TNT races. Then you have an off week for August 2nd.
Birthday weekend, boo.
Then you've got Iowa, which starts your NBC schedule. Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire. Daytona, which is, again, the regular season finale. Then the playoffs are Darlington, Gateway, Bristol, round of 16. The round of 12 is Kansas, Las Vegas, Charlotte.
Roval.
Then you got Phoenix, Talladega, Martinsville, and Homestead. So, with that being said, the one that we kind of glossed over was Chicagoland. They're coming back. North Wilkesboro, of course, gets a points-paying day now that it's no longer the All-Star race. The All-Star race is at Dover, and Watkins Glen moves up, and Darlington moves up.
New Hampshire moves out of the playoffs.
And New Hampshire is no longer in the playoffs.
Phoenix in the round of 8, so the championship race.
And so what took New Hampshire's spot in the playoffs? Homestead? Homestead takes a playoff date away from New Hampshire because Phoenix is still in there. They just moved it back to the first race in the round of 8.
Move Richmond up a little earlier.
Yeah, Richmond's
New Hampshire's where Richmond was this year.
Yeah. So,
excuse me.
Overall, I'm not mad at the schedule. I think I know you said that you didn't like Atlanta being the second race of the season. Doesn't bother me too much.
I just wish they'd move. I mean, I get it for TV ratings. Daytona 500.
Coda,
oh, man, that was awesome. To go to another track like it. Ooh, this is awesome again.
Coda being the third race of the year kind of pisses me off. I don't really understand that.
It's been like that for a couple years.
I know, but I don't think a road course that early is necessary, especially since you don't go to what someone would consider a normal NASCAR track. You don't go to one until March 15th at Las Vegas. So,
Yeah.
I understand that you have the kind of that West Coast swing that they used to have after Daytona, minus Atlanta. You got Coda, Phoenix, and Vegas all out west kind of a little bit.
I wish they put Sonoma in there.
But, yeah, Sonoma early March would be phenomenal, but they're not going to do that for some reason. So Coda being early, I don't love. Darlington moving, I don't really have a problem with.
Because that was on Mother's Day
Yeah.
the past couple years. I think Texas is now the Mother's Day race, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's Kansas.
Is it?
I don't remember when Mother's Day is. Could be wrong. But, yeah, so I don't really have a problem with the schedule, per se. I do
May
not...
10th?
May 10th. That's Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen. A week behind.
So, Dover,
We're good.
awful, terrible decision to put that in as the all-star race. Coda, not a huge fan. Charlotte Roval still being there is dumb to me. But other than that, I'm fine with it.
I got more problems than you with the schedule. 2 bye weeks, I like it. I just selfishly, my reason of where they put it. I get the Easter weekend. I agree with that. Obviously, end of July, beginning of August. That's my birthday weekend. I would like, and my week off from work, I would like to be able to watch a NASCAR race on my birthday weekend. Now I have nothing to do. That's just selfish me. I don't really have a big problem with that if it wasn't my birthday weekend. I agree. Dover is the All-Star race. I agree with you. I hate it. It don't make no sense. I like North Wilkesboro being a points-paying race. I like that. Chicagoland, 4th of July weekend. I like it. I'd rather it be Atlanta, but I get it. Where is Atlanta second time around?
Atlanta's second race is after Chicagoland. It's the week after.
I think, why can't you switch those two? I mean, my goodness. Phoenix, I like him not being in the championship race. I don't like it being in the round of 8, though, but I'll take it. Roval, I hate. Let's see. I don't like Darlington moving up early. I get it. It's earlier in the season. It won't be as hot in Darlington, but not a fan of that. Watkins Glen moving up. I've always felt like Watkins Glen, as a kid, when they go to Watkins Glen, school's about to start. As a kid, and it's where it's always usually been in the schedule. So it being in May, Mother's Day weekend, I don't like that. I'd rather you move Sonoma up there. Sonoma in springtime when
it's green.
When it's green, it would be just a cool sight to see, other than it just being brown and dead every time we go up there in the summertime, early summertime. So,
which Sonoma is a little earlier than it usually is it not?
No, I've seen them go earlier than this. Yeah, I've seen them go not later, usually earlier than that though. I still am not a fan of Bristol being in the playoffs. I still kind of wish it was where New Hampshire is now. I don't want New Hampshire in the playoffs, but I've always had a problem with Bristol being in the playoffs. The Bristol night race.
See, I love New Hampshire being the first. I think New Hampshire should.
And that was kind of
the
a kid
first
too.
playoff
That was
race.
kind of as a kid too. We had New Hampshire in the first race a lot when we were kids. Talladega again in the round of 8. Not a fan of that. There's just some things in the schedule where I think they almost could have made this schedule really good, and they didn't.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention though, that I know you said you don't love where the playoff or the off week is for personal reasons. What would you think about having Daytona and New Hampshire, Richmond and Iowa all back up a week, and then having the off week the week before the playoffs start? So you go to Daytona, get the regular season over with, you have a bye week, and then you have a 10-week stretch to end the season.
If NASCAR was more popular, I would like that. But you get done watching. Ooh, all right, we're the playoff 16, playoff start. Woo! And then you have a week off, and people forget about it because there's football going on.
You can think of it that way, or you can think of it Well, you got an off week. You're building suspense. You're building.
That's true.
You know.
But that's what I'm saying. If NASCAR was more popular, I would agree with you. If we had NASCAR was as popular as it was 15, 20 years ago, I would 100% agree with you. I think that's an awesome idea. It makes that stick and ball sport analogy even more strong because when the playoffs start, the good teams, now this would be everybody, but the good teams take a week off. They get a bye week. Think of the college football playoff now. The best 4 teams get a bye week, quote unquote. NFL, top 2 seeds get buys. Same thing with Major League Baseball. If you're not a wild card team, take a couple of days off. I like that idea. NASCAR, when you have momentum, which is right now at its peak, other than the 500, I think this is the most popular time for NASCAR, right when the edge of the playoffs. You got Daytona, everybody care. I mean, I heard people talk about Daytona that, don't watch NASCAR. Like, man, that race was awesome. That was awesome. And then you take a week off and those people forget about it. Yeah. So I like your idea. If NASCAR was more popular, I would agree with that. But they don't need to take a week off when their suspense and their momentum is at one of its peakest points of the season.
Yeah. All right, so your favorite thing that they did and your least favorite thing that they did.
Obviously, I could go. My favorite thing is putting Homestead in the championship race. That's a big one. I'll also go with North Wilkesboro as a points race. I think that's
so 2 favorite things. Okay.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, Homestead's the low hanging fruit because we love Homestead. But I'll go North Wilkesboro as well. I think it deserves a points paying race. And we get to get it. And Sunday afternoon, hot, slick racetrack. We've seen that work with this next-gen car. Hopefully it works next year. 400-lap race instead of 200-lap. It'll test the will of these drivers. It'll test the will of these machines. And hopefully we have a good race there because I think – and if it does put on good racing, I think that's another positive point of let's bring Rockingham back in the Cup Series because it's not a similar track, but it's – people lump North Wilkesboro and Rockingham together because they both were short tracks, homegrown short tracks, and they both fell off the face of the earth. People forgot about them, and then we're starting to bring them back. And if North Wilkesboro puts on a great race in the Cup Series, then NASCAR's going to be like, hey, let's put in Rockingham next.
Yeah, well, my
least favorite. My least favorite is... It's got to be Dover All-Star race. I just don't understand. Like, Dover's not a bad track. It's not. The car is the reason why we've not had great Dover races in the section car. I get Dover can become a dominating racetrack for certain drivers, like we saw Jimmy Johnson in the day, but it doesn't deserve to lose a points-paying race, especially in that area when there's. I mean, yeah, you got New Hampshire and you got Pocono that's not too far away from that, but other than Watkins Glen, other than that, there's really not a whole lot of NASCAR influence up there.
And there's a lot of racing up there.
There is. There are a lot, like, modifieds are big up there. So, like, I don't understand taking a points paying race away from Dover, less racing. Now, you get a full weekend, you get Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, but I don't know. I think it's dumb unless you put it under lights,
which they're not gonna.
Brad said that over the weekend. He said, I don't mind it, but I think it'd be really cool if they had time to put lights on that track, and then it would be cool. NASCAR Thunder 04. Night race at Dover. I mean, I'd be
second race of the year.
More okay with it, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll get into that. Dover is the worst decision on this. My favorite decision, obviously, North Wilkesboro and Homestead are the 2 I think everybody's going to gravitate to. But I would like to say that Chicagoland being back on the schedule is a big deal. I think that's going to be a really good race. Chicagoland was the best mile-and-a-half track on the schedule, in my opinion, 5-10 years ago. And it coming back with these cars that have tended to put on a little bit better racing, I think it can only, be better. And absence makes the heart grow fonder, so, them showing back up there, I think is going to put on a great race. So I'm really looking forward to that. The worst thing is Dover, though. I don't think there's a close second. And I just don't think Dover is a good place to have an all-star race. I don't think the track is conducive for, what the all-star race is. I think short tracks, mile and a halves, tracks with multiple different grooves, tracks that you can, bump and run somebody, tracks where you can run the fence, run the bottom, run the middle, different lines. I think that's what you're looking for. Tracks that are really entertaining on restarts, because you're going to have a lot of them, especially with how convoluted a lot of all-star race formats are. Dover isn't set up for that, I don't think. I think it's going to suck. And Dover hasn't put on great racing to begin with this car, so I'm not really looking forward to that. The other thing that I'm not looking forward to is what I believe that the prospects of this track looking forward are. I don't think they move this track or move this race to a points-paying race if they have a ton of confidence that this track is going to stay on the schedule going forward. And the reason I say that is SMI bought this track not too long ago, and it seemed like at the time SMI was buying up all these tracks because they want to get their dates and move those races to other SMI tracks, which is the same thing that they did to Darlington, did to Rockingham, did to Pocono, did to a lot of these, what used to be independent tracks. These tracks were bought by these big corporations because these big corporations wanted the dates. And then they said, all right, well, now that we own these dates, let's move these races where we want them. And, granted, with that being said, the All-Star race going to Dover did allow for North Wilkesboro to have a points-paying race, which I think is going to put on a better race than Dover would. But I think what's happening is they're getting rid of the tracks that they want to get rid of. And I just don't think that this looks good for Dover going forward. It would not surprise me in a couple years if Dover's just not on the NASCAR schedule anymore, which sucks because I think Dover needs to be raced at, even if it's not, the best, racing out there. And it could be better. I think if they paved that track would race a little bit better instead of it being concrete. I think if they fix this car and fix the dirty air issues, it would race a little bit better. But, it won't surprise me if we don't run at Dover anymore. And that sucks. So that's really all you got to say about it. But it's not looking forward to the race itself either.
What grade would you give the schedule?
I'd give it a B. Like I said, I think it's mostly good.
Now, also, I don't know if you realize this, with them having 2 bye weeks next year and not together like it was last year, this moves Daytona Labor Day weekend, not Southern 500. I don't like that either.
Let me look at this to make sure that you're right.
I am. Because Labor Day is September 2nd next year. And because it backed up a week, you got 2 weeks off instead of 1. It moves Daytona into Labor Day weekend next year. Because we'd be going to Labor Day. We'd be going to Daytona this time next year.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's 2 days before Labor Day.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, that's not great.
Labor Day, Southern 500.
I mean, I guess the Southern 500 is Labor Day week. It's
It
just
is.
the Sunday
But after.
the Sunday after instead of the Sunday before. But
Yeah.
I
feel like that one slipped through the cracks that a lot of people have not realized.
Yeah,
Based off my schedule, that's how I knew it immediately. Because I said, oh, fuck. My week off is on Daytona next year. And I got to fucking work on damn Darlington next year.
Yeah.
And I've always been off
looks
Darlington.
like we're not going to Darlington. But
Yeah, probably not.
yeah, I mean that's not great. But
We go in spring.
I wasn't super happy when they moved Daytona a couple years ago, and it's ended up working out. So, we'll see. We'll see. I do wish that Darlington was Labor Day weekend, but it's not.
I'd give it a C minus. I felt like it could have been a B plus to an A minus. And I feel like he just dropped the ball on a lot of opportunities where they moved some
They're
stuff.
just getting rid of the wrong tracks.
Well, we said this. You might have said this a few weeks ago. Said NASCAR focuses on the wrong stuff, and I feel like they're focusing. I mean, they do have some stuff that I do like. Moving Homestead to the finale, that's a good decision. Moving North Wilkesboro to a points paying race, that's a good decision.
They're filling drywall holes in the front of the house when the back of the house is torn to pieces.
Yeah, they're making it look better than it actually is, and I think I'll take it if like I said, there's parts of the schedule that I've been wanting for years, and they finally did it.
They need to get rid of Charlotte Roval and Coda.
I agree. Like I said, if they would have gotten rid of the Charlotte Roval and put the oval in for next year, this grade probably goes from like a C plus or from a C minus to a C plus. Because I can't understand the nobody goes to the Roval anymore anyway.
Hell, I went to it a couple years ago, and I'll never go back.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful racing with this car. The Charlotte Oval puts on great racing now. Like nobody goes to it anymore. Yeah, it was different. Like I said, it works the first couple of years, and it was great racing, great finishes. But now it's worn off, and the car sucks. The racing sucks. Now, what is the point of keeping it on that configuration? Doesn't make any sense. Like I understand that there should be a road course in the playoffs, but not the Roval. That's the worst track that I think has been driven or been raced on this next gen car. I said that weird, but you know what I mean. It's the worst race that next gen car puts on as far as road courses go, and there's been a lot of bad ones. But the Roval never puts on any good racing with this car, so it doesn't make any sense there. But like I said, C minus, a lot of missed opportunities there. They did some good stuff, but you hit the bullseye a couple times, but then you fucking hit the damn tree to the left a bunch of times as well. So C minus.
This beat is my revival.
I think it's very vital.
To rock around, chicken.
I should have sung that song. To rock around, it's tricky.
Tricky. What is it now? Playoff drivers?
Playoffs? RFK in this?
I quit.
You quit.
I'm going home.
You're quitting the podcast.
Yep.
Forever.
All right. Playoff drivers are as follows. The number 1 seed, Kyle Larson.
He made it?
Yeah, barely. Number 2, William Byron. Fuck that guy. Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, and Christopher Bell round out your top 5. Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, and Austin Cindric are your top 10. Ross Chastain and Joey Logano round out your cut line. Below the cut line, starting the playoffs, are Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, and Alex Bowman. So, with that being said, yeah, I mean, how do you want to do this? Do you want to just talk about the cut line? Or?
Let's talk about the points, the close point. Well, let's talk everybody. So Larson and Byron are tied right now, right?
26 up.
26 up.
Denny's 23 up. Blaney's 20 up. Christopher Bell 17. Shane Van Gisbergen 16. Big drop off to Chase Elliott with 7. Chase Briscoe's plus 4. Bubba and Cindric are plus 2. Ross and Joey are both plus 1. Under the cut line, minus 1, Tyler Reddick and Josh Berry. Minus 2 is Austin Dillon. And minus 5, Alex Bowman. I
can't remember a cut line being this close to start the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't really remember any of the
It's
cut lines
really
to
close.
start the playoffs. It is, especially, Chase on down. Shane, depending on, I don't expect him to get any stage points. So, depending on how, his finishes are, he's not safe. None of them are really safe. I mean, 26 up, that's only half a race. I mean, you get, everybody else gets stage points and you don't. You're right on the cut line. So, I will say this. I don't expect it to be chalk. I
think finally come around on my end.
I mean, you've got a couple guys below the cut line that I think are going to have some good weeks coming up. And then you got some guys above the cut line that I just don't trust. So I don't think it's going to be chalk. I think at least 2 of these guys below the cut line make it, and at least 2 from above it don't. But of course, Denny could blow up next week and get wrecked the next week, and if he doesn't win the third week, he's done. So you never know. So, but if everything goes to plan, the cars just show up. If we're looking at straight speed, I think 2 guys below the cut line will make it, 2 guys above it won't. And I've already got those 2 picked out. So.
Yeah, we'll get in that in a minute. Yeah, I agree with you. It won't be chalk. There's some strong guys below the cut line, and there's some guys above it that, you don't feel 100% confident that they can advance. And usually with this round of 16, usually one favorite or guy that we think was going to make it always gets eliminated. The question is this year, who will that person be? There's nobody safe. Obviously, you could say William Byron is looking pretty good, how consistent he is. He rarely wrecks out of races, and he's got a 26-point lead, and he's been really good. Won the points, regular season points. So he knows how to get consistent, steady, and decent finishes. He's the one guy that I think is pretty safe. But like I said, he wrecks at Darlington or blows a motor at Gateway, and then Bristol, it's all in because we don't have a guy that's 40, 50 above the cut line like we normally do, like Kyle Larson had last year, like Truex had a couple of years ago, and he almost missed it. So I think this is one of the tighter. There's a few weaknesses in this playoff 16 field. If you put Chris Buescher over Austin Dillon and you put Ryan Preece or Kyle Busch in over Josh Berry, I think you might have the strongest playoff field ever. But and it's still pretty close to being one of the strongest playoff fields we've ever had. But I think that's because the cars are so close together that, if you have a bad race or two, it's going to be hard to catch up without a win, because most of these guys are not going to have 25th place runs more than one time. So, it's going to be hard to catch up. So you got to make sure you don't get behind unless you win. So it should be fun. So what we can do you want to give out the whole revised playoff?
I think we should, since we're both just so fucked up on our playoffs, because my shit's already fucked, your shit's already fucked, because we have a guy in our Final Four that didn't even make playoffs. So I think we should just go round by round.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so
real quick, let's give it. I remember seeing the preseason stuff of what we had. I had on the Highline drink TikTok thing. Let me find it real quick. Okay, so you had damn, it's a thing. Shit. All right, you had, so your playoff 16 to start the season were as follows: Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Christopher Bell, or William Byron, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs. All right, so for 1. Ross Chastain, wrong. Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace. That's a good one. AJ Allmendinger, Shane Van Gisbergen. So you had 12.
13.
You had
I missed on Buescher, Allmendinger, and Ty Gibbs.
Yeah.
So I had 13 of the 16.
That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Mine. Where's mine at? Oh, come on. Oh, here we go. I have Larson, Byron, Jeff Gordon. Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Joseph Logano, whoever that is, Denny Hamlin. Oh, Zane Smith, Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, God damn it, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain,
You had 11. So I went 13 for 16. You went 11 for 16.
Yikes.
Does that give me any points in the
No,
pick'em?
it does not.
Damn.
So I had Brad, Zane, Chris, Ty Gibbs. Who else?
Brad.
Did I already say Brad? I thought I said Brad, Chris, Zane, Ty Gibbs. I'd have AJ. I think I had 12, right? Or I could be just fucking up. I don't know.
He might. I might have miscounted somewhere in there, but
Zane Smith. Already have him in there.
yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so round by round, you got the preseason closer than I did.
Yep.
Our championship 4 was Blaney. My championship 4 was Blaney, Busher, I think Christopher Bell, and Ross Chastain.
So.
You remember yours? Chris Busher, Ryan Blaney,
Larson, and Hamlin, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I will say this: I know for a fact who I'm picking. 2 out of these 3 below the cut line.
Yeah. So you got Christopher Bell. Chris Busher.
Yeah. So.
Got 3 out of your 4. I do too.
2 out of these 3 I've got not making it to the next round. It could be 3 out of the 4 that are below the cut line not making it. So the for sures not making it are Austin Dillon and Josh Berry. And the guys that the one guy below the cut line I'm almost positive is going to make it is Tyler Reddick. I'm worried about Alex Bowman, being that he's 5 points below the cut line and not really strong tracks for him coming up. Yeah. Darlington, he'll be okay. Don't expect him to go out there, lead laps, and win the race. Get stage points maybe. But Gateway is not.
That's Hendrick course track.
Not a good track for Hendrick. And then they go to what? Bristol? Which I don't think I've ever seen Alex Bowman at a Bristol race. I mean, he might be there.
He won the pole in the spring and was running second.
I don't remember
Larson
it, though.
Until he blew up.
Yeah, I don't remember it. Mostly because that was the worst race I've ever watched in my life.
Imagine being there.
But with that being said,
so who's your 4 out?
I don't.
Josh, Austin, who else?
Fuck it. I'm going to say Ross Chastain doesn't make it to the next round.
That's fair.
I'm going to say Austin Dillon doesn't make it to the next round. Say Cindric doesn't make it to the next round.
Ooh, Cindric.
And I hate to do it, but I don't think Shane makes it either. So, yeah, give me Austin Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen, Austin Cindric, and Ross Chastain are going to be the ones to not make the next round. Meaning Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, and Alex Bowman do make it from below the cut line. The Josh Berry thing, the Josh Berry, Austin Cindric, those 2 are the ones I'm willing to flip. Because Cindric is good at Gateway.
1 year last year.
But Darlington, I'm not expecting him to show up to. And then Bristol is, I'm not really expecting anything out of him either. But I just don't think Shane's going to be able to function at a high enough level to get stage points in any of the next 3 races. And I don't think he's going to have high enough finishes in those races to counteract that. So I think he's out. And Ross Chastain's just too inconsistent for me. And those cars aren't that great. So I think Bowman having, Hendrick power under the hood, I think he'll be good enough to make it. Tyler Reddick, obviously, he could win any of the next 3 races. Nobody would be surprised. And then Austin Dillon's ran 25th all year. So as long as Richmond's not in the playoffs, he's not going on. So that's it. Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Shane Van Gisbergen. See you later.
I agree with you decent amount. My 4 I have out, Austin Dillon. He's good at Darlington, but Gateway and Bristol, I don't really trust that 3 team. Josh Berry, haven't seen much of him. He has decent finishes every now and then, but I don't think 21 has the speed.
I think he'll be all right at Darlington, though.
He could be terrible. I mean, in Darlington, you get involved in a wreck that not your fault. I mean, it's very easy to. I agree with you with Shane. I just don't think he has enough playoff point, enough buffer. If he had 20 plus, I think I'd feel more confident, but I think he's going to miss it. I don't trust him to run 15th every week.
He might be at the cut line after
I think he
Darlington.
will. I think he will, but I think there's one race where he's going to be terrible and run like 25th or 30th. Gateway could be one of them because he's never really – I don't think he's ever raced a Gateway ever because Xfinity don't race there. So Gateway is not a good track. I don't think it's going to be for Shane. Then my last one, I don't. This is gonna hurt my soul.
Chase Elliott.
I'm picking Chase Elliott.
You're an
this
idiot.
Next round.
I mean, hopefully.
Darlington, he's not very good at.
I mean, he almost won a race there one time, didn't he?
In this Gen 6 car, he almost won there a couple times. JGR fucked them both. This car, he's not been good at Darlington. He did have better speed in the spring, but he probably won't. But
He's all right at Bristol.
Gateway, he's not good at. And then Bristol, he went finish second there last year in the fall. We went there, but he ran 18th in the spring. Never saw him. Bristol's a hit or miss track for Chase. So 2 hit or miss tracks for Chase and Gateway in the middle. I don't see it. Only 7 points above the cut line. Coming in here on no momentum. Finished 10th at Daytona. Decent run for him. But prior weeks, Richmond wrecked. Watkins Glen was terrible. Iowa did get a great finish there. I don't see it for the 9 team this year. And if it means we get a new crew chief at the end of the season, I'm worth losing in the round of 16 because I don't think he's a championship contender. So get out early, make a change in the crew chief spot. And let's go into 2026 with a new crew chief and a new voice in Chase Elliott's ear for next year. So I got Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, and Shane Van Gisbergen missing the first round.
You know what's going to happen,
Second
right?
round. What?
Shane's going to finish like 10th at Darlington. He's going to finish like 15th at Gateway, and he's going to finish like 7th at Bristol. But
Whoops.
And we'll be dumb as fuck. But
Probably.
yeah, well, hit that button.
RTT.
Ripping the topics. Well, 2311 and Front Row Motorsports are threatening to close down if NASCAR sells their charters, which aren't theirs.
It's crazy. We talked about this a couple months ago. We're like, doesn't make any sense for NASCAR to do it, and it seems like they're about to do it.
Yeah. What do you think on that?
I don't know, man. I don't understand NASCAR's move here because it's. I get you trying to push the ex-girlfriend out, kinda, but it's Michael fucking Jordan.
Who?
It's a huge name in NASCAR. People,
You talk about the second best basketball player of all time,
behind Kobe Bryant. Yes,
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. I just don't understand NASCAR's move here. Now, I get why 2311. I don't know if this could be just a publicity stunt by 2311 in Front Row saying, "Hey, we're gonna leave you if you sell these charters, even if you win the lawsuit in December, because we won't have any charters left." I don't know how they wouldn't get their charters back, but NASCAR saying you didn't sign the agreement, so technically you don't have to have a charter anymore, and that's why NASCAR saying they can sell them, and 2311 will not get their charters back. And 2311 is like, okay, but how can you sell these charters when you don't know what's going to happen in the lawsuit? If we win in December, we deserve to get those charters back. It's just a mess, and I want to say that 2311 and Front Row are bluffing, but I don't know if they are. And 2311, more than Front Row, I think they're needed in the sport more than people realize. Like I said, Michael Jordan's a huge name. When I mention NASCAR to people, I mentioned, hey, Michael Jordan's got a race team. Really? Yeah. Who are who are his drivers or whatever? And I mentioned to him like, oh, okay, cool. I'll keep an eye on him if I ever watch a NASCAR race or when I watch a NASCAR race. If you lose that, you can lose possible more interest in the sport. And it's like jumping the gun. And like I said, it could be both parties just trying to throw out something to see how the other reacts. At the end of the day, I don't know if either of these statements are true. I want to say they're false. I want to say it's just, hey, let's see what type of reaction, what type of stuff we can get out of the other to see how we can move the needle on how this lawsuit will go. And they got an injunction coming again in a couple weeks, I think. So
It's this week, Thursday.
This week, okay. So I don't know. It just could be just, hey, got another injunction coming up. Let's put some pressure on both parties here. 2311, let's throw this out here and see how NASCAR reacts to it. NASCAR, hey, let's throw this out there to see how 2311 and Front Row reacts. So it's a mess that I don't think really needs to be addressed. It's a bigger mess already than it already needs to be, and this is just adding to the pile. I don't understand it. I don't like it, and I hope neither happens. I hope NASCAR does not sell their charters before the lawsuit happens, hearing happens, and I hope 2311 and Front Row don't shut down.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing I will say, though, is, NASCAR has an argument, right? We laid out the terms of the deal. You didn't sign. You have no right to tell us what to do with our property. Yeah. You didn't sign to get these back. They're ours now. We don't have to do business with you. So these are our charters. If we want to sell them, we can sell them. There's nothing you can say about it. But then on the other hand, you got 2311 saying, hey, we want to be here. We would have signed it if you didn't, if you weren't running a monopoly, we wouldn't have a problem with it. But you guys are trying to get us to sign, unfair contracts, which there are laws against. So that's what the lawsuit is about. And, NASCAR's saying, well, how can the courts force us to do business with somebody that we don't want to do business with?
They're now running in open charters now, or open teams.
In theory, NASCAR has a point there. The problem is every day there are wrongful termination lawsuits. There's lawsuits all over the country happening every day in normal business, scenarios where the courts are saying, hey, you had no right to fire this person. You had no right to get rid of this person. You had no right to not hire this person. And the courts say, you have to let them work for you until you find a different reason
to let them go.
To let them, to fire them. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think 2311 and Front Row are going to win this lawsuit. And I've been saying that since this started. I think it would be a very bad idea for NASCAR to sell these charters right now, because if they do sell them and they lose the lawsuit, the courts will either make them give them charters, or NASCAR will have to pay 2311 and Front Row for the value of the charters, which 2311 has 3 of them. So let's just say they're selling for $50 million. That's $150 million per, to 2311 for the charters. You got to pay Front Row, which they have 2 of them.
They have just 2? I thought they had 3.
There might be 3.
Well, they got 3. They got Noah, Zane, and Todd.
Yeah, so they've got 3 of them. There's another $150 million. So that's $300 million NASCAR might have to pay out if they give these charters to somebody else, and they're not forced to give them back. So that's $300 million. Not to mention, how much damages could 2311 and Front Row Motorsports claim that they are incurring by not having the charters? The number is astronomical, because how much money could they make if they were able to use them? Or,
And then if they sell the charters to somebody else, then you got a team or a couple teams.
You can't take them for let's just say, because they're saying that they've got one charter already sold.
Which could be Junior Motorsports.
They're saying Junior Motorsports could be anybody, really.
Tricon Garage.
Could be whoever. Could be me and you. It doesn't matter.
We got that money, honey.
But if they give Trent Davis, Riley Embry Racing a charter to go run next year, and then they lose the lawsuit, are they just going to come to us and say, hey, we know we sold you this charter for $50 million.
We got to have it back.
Here's your $50
then
million
you get
back?
sued by them. Like, what the fuck?
It would be a very, regardless of how this ends up playing out, I think it'd be a very dumb decision for NASCAR to sell the charters. Because I do think 2311 and Front Row are going to win the lawsuit in the long run. And it's going to make it very complicated on the back end of things if NASCAR doesn't have a way forward for these teams to compete, because they're right. 2311 and Front Row are right. If they do not have charters, it's not financially viable for them to show up at the racetrack every week.
Yeah.
It isn't, because they're not going to make enough money to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
And that's the same reason that, Roush doesn't bring 4 cars every week. That's the same reason that Dale Jr. doesn't bring a car every week. That's the same reason why, fucking Kayak Motorsports doesn't bring their second car ever anymore. They ran an open car for a year. It was Ryan Preece's car. When Preece was there, it was an open car. They ran it every week. And after 1 year, they said, fuck this. We're not doing this anymore.
I think it might have been 2 years, but
whatever. Because it doesn't make sense. So if 2311 doesn't have a charter next year, they're not coming. They're not coming. And they just built a race shop. They've got all these cars. They've got all these people. Front Row Motorsports, same thing. You're royally fucking these people if they don't have these charters. And this is why I'm kind of against the charter system to begin with, because if NASCAR is in control of the charters, it's going to turn into F1, and F1 can say, at any time, hey, we don't want y'all to come play with us anymore. Sorry. We know you invested all this money. We know you got all these people, but just don't show up. We don't want you. And I think that's wrong. I get it in stick and ball sports because it's team versus team. You can't have 100 teams playing. But in racing, anybody can show up and compete. And with the charter system, you can't, and it makes it financially unviable to do so. So I don't think that these teams can survive if they lose the lawsuit and they don't have their charters.
Unless you just raise the purse money up a
which
gazillion.
Which they're not going to do, because then it doesn't make any sense for teams to buy charters.
Yeah.
You're taking the financial... The reason these teams... There's 2 reasons these teams own charters. It's A, because they want a locked-in spot in the field, and B, it's because they want to make money. If you take out the incentive to buy the charters to make money, the teams will just say, okay, that's fine. Hendrick will say, I don't need fucking charters. I'm going to qualify for every race. I'm going to.
Yeah.
When's the last time a Hendrick car qualified, like on speed, in the 30s? It never happens. Rarely does it happen. And when it does, there were things in the past to make sure that they made the race. There were champions provisionals. There was top 35 in points provisionals. There was all these provisionals you could use for the one time a year a Hendrick car didn't make it. I think Jeff Gordon had to use one time early in the year, because they finished I think he had to use his championship provisional at the second race of the year because he wrecked early in Daytona and was at 40th in points. But that's the reason that these charters exist. These teams don't have them. You're not going to see them. They won't be there. They might show up at Daytona. They might show up at,
Indy.
They
Coke
might show up
600.
at Coke 600. They might show up at the big races because it makes sense, because they're going to get some money for being there. But even if they show up and win the championship, they're not going to make as much money as if they ran 16th all year with charters, the way that the payouts are given. So if NASCAR gives these charters away, sells these charters, whatever you want to say, it's going to very, very much so fuck these teams, and it's going to be very complicated.
I agree. Well, there's a guy that won't have to worry about his ride for next year going into the 2026 Daytona 500, and that is Connor Zillage. They announced the worst kept secret in NASCAR. He will be driving for Trackhouse next year. They announced it this past weekend at Daytona. Riley, what are your thoughts?
I said it a couple years ago. I think this guy's the real deal. I think he deserves to be in the Cup Series. I think I don't want to say he's wasting his time in the Xfinity Series, but he's the best driver out there, and he's 19 years old. So, and he doesn't have very much experience on ovals. So when he gets it, good luck. I know you're probably going to say, you brought it up on this podcast before, hey, we said the same thing about Ty Gibbs. The difference is the head that's on Connor Zilich's shoulders. I've got faith that this guy is the real deal. The one issue with him going to what we think is going to be the 99 car, they could change the number. That car sucks. It's not very good. It's not very competitive. So going from driving the best equipment every week in the Xfinity Series, yeah, you're competitive because you're in the best car every week and you're very good. But what happens when you're in a 25th place car? Are you going to be competitive at Indy? Are you going to be competitive at Charlotte? I don't think so. And that's kind of what happened with, Ty Gibbs is, the Gibbs cars are good, but they're not as dominant as they were in the Xfinity Series, especially that fourth Gibbs car. That fourth Gibbs car has kind of been historically bad. There's always that fourth Gibbs driver that's right? You had Daniel Suarez. You had, Martin Truex for, a couple years there towards the end wasn't that competitive. There's always been a Gibbs car towards the, back half of the top 10. And
Kyle Busch wasn't good for
exactly
the last couple of years.
So, Connor getting in that 99, I mean, he's going to win a race. He'll win one of the road courses. But, his oval stuff might not look that good next year. And I'm worried about that. But I do think talent-wise, he's got it. I just wish there was a better opportunity for him in the Cup Series because I don't really see that car. I said it a couple weeks ago. I don't think the Trackhouse cars are that good. I think Ross Chastain is a really good driver, and he struggles in them more times than he doesn't. When he runs top 15, top 10, especially this year, that's kind of a surprise. He wouldn't be in the playoffs if it wasn't for his win. So it's we'll see next year. The Trackhouse cars could get a little bit better, but I'm not expecting that 99 or whatever number it is to be super competitive, other than road courses, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I would like to see Connor get into the 88 next year. I think that fits his style more than the 99. I think Shane being the 88 never really felt normal. I think Shane could go back to the 97 or the 87 or the 99. I think any of them numbers are better than Shane driving the 88. I think Connor fits the 88 better. But I agree with you. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. And, me making the Ty Gibbs comparison to him, not so much is a shot at him. We've seen a lot of these young guns come into the Cup Series the past several years and not light it up like we all expected them to. William Byron took him 3 years to win a race. Chase Elliott, yeah, he made the playoffs his first couple years, but he never won a race until his third year. Christopher Bell, it took him a minute. Ty Gibbs, we still haven't seen him win a race. It's just hard as a very young driver. Kyle Larson, when he was young, didn't win a race till his third year. And we think of these guys as top tier talent in the Cup Series. It just takes a minute. It's a difference between racing in the Xfinity Series and difference in racing in the Cup Series. I think the talent level is just so much better in the Cup Series from 1st to 25th compared to 1st to 25th in the Xfinity Series. So, not saying he's going to struggle and, run 30th in points and stuff like that, but, for people to put expectations on Connor next year to win multiple races, make the playoffs, contend for a round of 8 chance, round of 12. I think that's pumping the brakes too much. We're going too far. We need to pump the brakes on them because we just not seen a young driver come in as a rookie and do what they did in the lower series in the Cup Series the past 10, 15 years. It's just very hard to do. And I'm not, like I said, Connor's got the talent to. I just don't think he will because we just haven't seen it in a very long time. But he's got the talent. I think in 4 or 5 years he will be considered one of the top 3 drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series. He will. He's got that much talent, and I think he could. With how close the cars are now, his talent can overcome Trackhouse's deficiencies. How you see it, I don't think Trackhouse is that bad as far as their equipment and cars go. I think their cars are closer to Hendrick and Gibbs than you give them credit for. But I think next year it'll be a learning curve for him. I think he could win a race, but I'm not going to guarantee he can win a race next year. I think Shane has a clear advantage over him in the road course because he's been doing it has more starts than Connor does in this series. Go to a lot of track, not a lot, but a decent amount of tracks that Connor's ever seen before. And you got guys that are very good compared to how many guys are very good in the Xfinity Series. So excited to see it. I'm cheering for him. I think he's gonna be a great talent, but I think next year might be a little bit of a challenging year for Connor.
Yeah.
And Colleague joining Ram in the Truck Series. I called this one about a month ago. I said Colleague is one of the teams that I thought could, but the only question was with the Chevrolet thing because they're in Chevrolet. But it seems like next year Colleague will be running 2 different manufacturers. And I asked you that a couple weeks ago. Is we ever seen that? I think we have, maybe not.
Tommy Baldwin.
We're going to see it next year. So. And I think Colleague it's a good move for Colleague. Chevy, they're a back marker in the Chevy team. They're not a top-tier organization as far as the Chevys go. We've seen their Cup stuff never be great, and we see now the Xfinity Series equipment really drop off a cliff the past couple of years. So I think it's a good move for Colleague. You get a decent, big name, not a big name team, but a good enough team. Got Chris Rice, very good guy. I think they know what they're doing over there at Colleague. And Matt Colleague, obviously, the owner. I think they're going to be able to try to lead Dodge and Ram back into the other 2 series. I think they're going to be one of the mainstays in it. It's the best time to do it. I think down the road this could work out very well for Colleague because in Chevrolet they're just kind of digging their own grave. They're trying to get out. They dig themselves deeper just because they're never going to get into that Hendrick tier, into that who's the second Chevy team?
Trackhouse,
I
RCR.
guess Trackhouse, RCR, and they're not even that great. It's Hendrick, not a lot other than that as far as consistent speed and stuff like that. But good move for Colleague, and excited to see him in the Truck Series next year. And hopefully they'll can build their way into the Cup Series and put Dodge back in the Cup Series in about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for them as well. I do think that it's going to be wild to see them running Chevys in the top 2 series and Dodge on Fridays, but I think you're right. I think it'll be better for them in the long run. So we'll see how that works out. I think perfect world, I would rather not see that. I'd rather a team be we run Dodges in all 3 series, we run Fords in all 3 series, whatever. So, but to be fair, there's really not a lot of teams that run in all 3 series anymore. Hell, even when drivers from other series go to other teams or other series, usually they're running for a different team. Especially in the Truck Series. I don't think there's any Truck Series teams right now that run on Sundays.
Front row.
Spire and Front Row. There's 2. Used to be everybody. Spire doesn't have any cars on Saturdays, though. Yeah. Front Row doesn't have any Saturday cars. There's a couple teams that run Saturday and Sunday. You've got RCR and Joe Gibbs that run both. Hendrick has that car they run sometimes on Saturdays. But, if they're going to run in all 3 series, and I'd rather see a team run the same, manufacturer. Obviously, they can't run Dodge on Saturday and Sunday because they don't have a car in those series, but I think eventually they will. I don't think they're getting a ton of help from Chevrolet anyway, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for Chevy to, complain about. But one thing that I will say is the last time we saw this was Tommy Baldwin. I think he was running Chevys and Toyotas. Maybe it was Dodge and Toyota. I don't remember, what Tommy Baldwin was driving. But the reason his team closed down was because he was in a lawsuit with the manufacturers because the manufacturers thought that he was using, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sharing data.
Yeah, there's a word I'm looking for, but yeah, there was data that he couldn't divulge from one to the other, and there was some conflicts of interest there, and he was mired in a lawsuit based on that. So hopefully that doesn't happen with Colleague. Colleague says that they're going to hire a bunch of new people. It's going to be all new people, and that there's firewalls, his words, there's a firewall in place to stop any information from, going from one team to the other. But you're going to look for any competitive advantage you can, and, that I can see this.
Word of mouth. Can't stop that.
Yeah, I can see this being an issue. So hopefully it's not, and hopefully, everything works out fine. And I hear that they're going to bring a ton of trucks next year, at least to Daytona. So they've got a bunch of people they got to hire. They got a bunch of drivers they got to find. That's going to be the interesting part is seeing who drives those trucks. So we'll see.
Xfinity race on Friday night. Parker Kligerman / Connor Zilic wins.
So
that's a hell of a race.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, I know you did.
Waiting on the rain delay.
Yeah.
And I woke up as they were taking the green for the last restart.
Oh, were you?
So I woke up and I was like, oh, fuck, Parker Kligerman.
He going to win this race?
Yeah! All right, I went back to bed.
Yep.
So I saw the last restart. That's all I saw.
Yeah. It was a very good race. Obviously, Parker winning, taking over Connor's ride after he started and parked it, from his broken collarbone after he fell out of his car, winning Watkins Glen a couple
I'm
weeks ago.
going to say it.
I don't care you broke your collarbone. Yeah, it was a great race, great story. The RCR cars surprisingly really weren't that strong. I still feel like they were probably the best, 2 out of the best 4 or 5 cars out there, but Junior Motorsports brought some heavy equipment there. Justin Allgaier was very good. Parker obviously was very good. Zane Smith was very good. And RCR guys kind of just lacked a little bit of speed. Usually,
Zane Smith was good?
Huh?
Zane Smith was good?
I wish.
That's what you said.
Did I say?
Yeah.
Sammy Smith.
Zane Smith was obviously very good.
Yeah, Sammy Smith was very good. So, it just feels like Austin Hill and Jesse Love didn't quite have it. And on that last couple restarts, mainly the last one, everybody made sure Austin Hill wasn't going to win that race.
Yeah,
and,
they hoed him.
They hoed his ass, and then he caused a big wreck going into 3. Surprising. But, yeah, it was a very good race, very entertaining, had a couple wrecks. Can't really remember exactly every wreck that happened. I know Carson Quaffle caused the first one. Not really caused it, but he kind of did. Just kind of came down on Jeb Burton, spun out, and kind of struggled the rest of the race. Got back on lead lap on the last restart. Finished 11th. It's like 3 or 4 laps down. Came back to finish 11th. So good job there by Carson. But, yeah, just a very solid race. The finish was great. Obviously, Parker not running the Xfinity Series full-time anymore. I think it's his first race this year. So, obviously he ran with a big machine last year, past couple of years there. So, a little rusty, but it didn't matter. This is a good track for you to come back for your first race in a series at Daytona, where it's kind of a little easier to kind of get comfortable with, as long as you don't get in a big wreck or whatever. So I thought it was a great race. Jamie and Adam calling the race, kind of showing a little favoritism towards Parker, because that's their buddy up there in the booth. I get it. I don't like to say it every week, but they did a good job trying to not be too Parker Kligerman reliant and cheering for
Come
him too
on,
much.
Parker.
You got it.
You got it. You got it.
All right. Austin Hill's all right, ain't he? Wish he wasn't. No, I thought it was a solid race. I think the Cup race actually was a little bit better, but the Xfinity race is very solid. So it's always cool to see Parker getting his win, and it did count, unlike his truck win in February. So redemption for Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Obviously, I said I watched the last restart. One thing I will say based on this, though, is I think Parker Kligerman's a good race car driver. I think Parker deserves to have a ride if he wants one in either trucks or Xfinity. I don't know if he's a Cup driver, but
He could be the next he could be the next Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, I mean, but he's no worse than, you know, I don't know,
Jeb Burton.
I was looking at Cup guys. He's no worse than, you know,
Cody Ware.
He's no worse than fucking the way Noah's ran this year. He's no worse than, you know, those bottom, you know, 5-6 guys. He could do that.
John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, I mean, John Hunter's been better, but you know, I think Parker is good enough to, if, you know, Dale's going to have some openings next year. Colleague's got a bunch of truck openings. You know, I would love to see Parker get a shot in a competitive, because he's never really been. It's been since he raced for Penske in the Xfinity Series, fucking 2009, that he's been in a good car. So, you know, I think he did some Cup stuff.
You're telling me Swan Racing wasn't elite tier
exactly.
Equipment?
But you know, he raced for Big Machine, which they're kind of an underfunded team. You know, they done all right with who the hell's driving that car?
Who'd you mention?
Big Machine.
Nick Sanchez.
Nick Sanchez. They won a race, right?
Yeah, Atlanta.
You know, he had a couple races he could have won in that 48 car. You look at the Roval a couple years ago. Or was that last year?
That was last year.
Yeah. Then that the truck that he ran.
Food Country store.
Yeah, that blue truck.
Yeah.
You know, he competes in some kind of underfunded stuff. I would love to see him get a season-long opportunity in a A-tier car to see what he could do, because I think he's a good enough race car driver to be competitive every week. Just needs a guy like Dale that's got 5 seats. But I would really like to see Parker get a shot in one of Dale's cars. You know, like you said, Justin Allgaier, Dale gave him that opportunity. You know, Dale's kind of known for that. Hell, before he switched it to Junior Motorsports back in the day when he first started his team, it was, you know, Chance 2 Racing or whatever. It was started because he wanted to give a lot of guys second chances.
Regan Smith.
And he does that still to this day. A lot of crew guys are, you know, guys that he hired because maybe they didn't make it at their last place. You know, Justin Allgaier is one of those guys. You know, there's a lot of guys like that, and I think Parker would fit in well in a ride like that. So happy for him. I like Parker a lot. I rooted for him in that 48 car. I rooted for him in the truck that he ran, and I like him. I like him in the booth. I think he does a really good job up there. He's decent enough on pit road, but I think he needs to be driving a race car.
Well, Zana Toyota, I agree with you. Hit that button for Attaboy.
Attaboy. Attaboy. I was going to give it to Parker, but I have spoken on that enough, I think. Kind of exhausted everything there is to say about that. With that being said, I'm going to give mine to Cody Ware. Not exactly sure where he finished. Probably wasn't great.
I think 21st.
But, you know, he finished 21st similarly to a reason why Ryan Preece finished back there. And it's not because he wasn't doing his job. And it's not because he wasn't doing a good job. Yeah, Cody Ware led a lot of this race. You know, obviously, I don't think the guys were working that hard to pass him until they were. And when they did, they kind of hoed him out of the way the same way that they did with the 60. But even with that being said, I mean, it's the worst car on the track, maybe other than the 78. Nobody really thinks he's that great of a race car driver, myself included. But with that being said, I mean, it still takes something to get up there, do everything right, lead your line, make some decent moves, put yourself in a position, and let the chips fall where they may. And when you're a guy like that, nobody's going to work with you. Nobody's going to, block for you. Nobody's going to push you. And you don't expect to get a good finish that way. With that being said, I mean, he did everything he needed to do to get a good finish Saturday night. Just didn't work out for him. Like I said, similar to Ryan Preece. Put your car in the position and hope that you got some friends at the end, and he just didn't. But I was really impressed with what I saw with Cody. Now, we're going to show up at Darlington this week, and he's going to run 35th. But, take him where you can get him. Attaboy, Cody Ware.
That's a good one. That's a good one. My attaboy from Daytona, it's kind of weird who I'm giving this one to based off what happened, but I'm going to give it to the 45 of Tyler Reddick and really the team more than the driver.
Yeah.
They could have really packed it in after he made that mistake.
Done.
I thought they were done. Seeing him wreck, first wreck of the race, nobody else is out. Bowman's still up there at the front, near the front. Fuck, we have done royally fucked this up. We're not going to make the playoffs. Now, they got lucky with that Bowman caution.
And it wouldn't have mattered at the end anyway.
Wouldn't have mattered at the end anyway with Blaney winning. But they fixed that car really well for him to still be up in the pack. He was running, I think he got in the top 10 a couple times after that wreck. So they still did a good job in getting that car fixed up enough to where Reddick could still go out there and compete a little bit. Wasn't going to win the race, obviously. Wasn't going to be in the top few rows at the end of the race. Didn't have the speed. Just didn't, based off all the damage they had. But for Reddick, for getting back calm after he almost threw his chance of winning or being in the playoffs, for him to go out there and still be up in the pack, still make moves when he could, and to still never give up. And that shows a lot of grit. They had a gritty race on Saturday night. Almost went terribly wrong for him, but they never gave up and gave him a decent car for him to still run in the pack and still, contend for a decent finish. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter. But it was very easy. It would have been very easy for that 45 team and Tyler Reddick to just chip it in, quit, and be like, well, fuck, we just got to hope Bowman gets in a wreck. And shortly after they did, but could have been very easily just to give up and say, all right, let's see how the chips fall, and hopefully another guy that's already won a race wins it, and we can still get in. And but they didn't. They never gave up. Fought to the end, and at the end of the day, got a halfway decent finish considering of how much damage that car had. So, attaboy, really the 45 team in 2311.
You can't do that.
You can't do that! My you can't do that from Daytona. This one's not really a obvious one here. So I'm going to I mentioned it earlier at the very beginning of the podcast. I'm going to give it to, I could give it to RFK in general. I'm going to give it to Ryan Preece. I know hindsight's 2020, Monday morning quarterback, what I'm doing here, but him making that move when Chris was behind you on that last restart. I know it's you to get control of be the first car in the second lane, but and it could be to a spotter, a crew chief, or whatever, whoever needs to tell them who's in that road that you're jumping into, or that line that you're jumping into. It just didn't make any sense. You had your teammate finally, RFK cars finally had two together on a late race restart on the bottom. I know the bottom's hard to move and make moves, but you got to take them when you can get them. But I feel like that move cost a chance at RFK to make the playoffs and win that race. I feel like if it's I said it's easier now that we're past it, but I think it would have been a better chance for them to win that race if they stay on the bottom together and you wait for the 7 to jump to the bottom or jump to the top, jump to the middle lane or whatever, and you continue to push the hell out of each other. And I think you have a better chance of winning that race on Saturday night because I don't think Chris is lifting for shit, and Ryan Preece probably wins that race. And you're a much happier camper today. But he didn't. He made the wrong move, and, I'm not mad at him for making it. I don't blame him for making it. Hey, you try to take control of a line. I get it. But with 200 cars behind you, they're not going to help you, especially with their teammate cannot afford for you to win the race. They will slam on brakes before they push you to a win. Just didn't make any sense. Bad move. It's not an egregious move, but I think it cost them a chance to win the race. So you can't do that to Ryan Preece.
Yeah, I'm going to give mine to myself.
Yourself.
For
falling asleep.
For ever having any hope. For ever having any faith in my guys. Tell you what, when I die, put an RFK sticker on my casket so they can let me down one more time. They,
That's good. I ain't heard that
one. Bring them as pallbearers, whatever you got to do. They stay letting me down 2 years in a row. No RFK Fords in the playoffs. I mean, I tell you what, being an RFK fan is kind of like being a Rockies fan, which I'm also a Rockies fan, but have a good year, once every blue moon. But for the most part, it's
you made the round of 8 2 years ago.
It's broken hearts around here. It's really disappointing. Going into these, I've picked an RFK car to win pretty much every super speedway race since we've done this podcast, and they've won one. So, I just don't know what I got to do, what they got to do to win these races. But I got to quit picking them because they never win them.
Hey, it worked out for you. You beat me.
Yeah, I mean, yippee. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to lose in the long run. Brad Keselowski's probably the best super speedway racer out there to have as few super speedway wins as he has.
He's got like 7
in the past 5 years. He's got 1.
Last year with Penske, Talladega.
And then, Chris, same thing. One of the better super speedway racers out there, has 1. Just sucks because it's like every year we show up to these races and everybody expects them to win and they never do, and it sucks, especially when you shit the bed here or there throughout the season. Brad had a terrible beginning to the year, put himself in a bad position to where he had to win. And then, you look back at Iowa and really nothing you can do. Just kind of strategy and circumstances take you out of that race. You look at Preece with, Talladega, getting disqualified from Talladega. And, who's to say if he didn't have those 40 points back, I understand he probably still wouldn't have been around, Bowman. But, you race those races differently, coming down towards the end of the year. With Chris, I mean, he's had a good year. I mean, he's 10th in points. He's 10th in points. He's been the 10th best driver on average all year. I don't think that car's had winning speed ever this year. So, very, very disappointed in myself that I can't see these things for what they are. I will not be picking an RFK Ford to win any race from here to the end of the year because I'm tired of being let down.
That's fair. Well, we got Darlington this week, Southern 500, one of the best races.
My favorite race of the year.
Yeah, one of the favorite and best races each year in NASCAR. Starts the playoffs off Sunday night on USA. This race should be on NBC, but it's not. But yeah, it should be a good one, Riley. What you expecting from the Lady in Black?
Like I said, I think it's the best race of the year. I think it's my favorite race of the year. Definitely my favorite races I've ever been to, and I've been to some pretty good ones. I mean, went to the best short track race this car's had to offer. You know, Bristol. You and I were there. I've been to the 600. I've been to Atlanta, which those races put on some really good racing too. But Darlington is the most consistent, and Darlington is the best, most authentic racing experience that you can get. And looking forward to a good race. Last year's was not great. You were there.
I thought it was amazing.
It was good. Wasn't great for me, obviously,
yeah.
because Briscoe winning knocked Chris out again. But it's going to be a good one. I think you got some guys that are going to be running middle of the pack that will need good days. Shane Van Gisbergen, the 21, the 3. There's going to be some cars back there that I think that are going to be, driving a little bit harder than they normally would. Shane going there for the second time in a Cup car might help him. You're going to have, I know I just said I'm not going to pick any RFK cars to win, which I'm not, but they're usually pretty good here. They weren't last year, but, Chris and Brad both do pretty well here. So I think they'll be competitive. I think the race will go to a playoff driver. There are going to be I think the top 10 is going to be all playoff guys for the most part, give or take one or two. So I think it's going to be won by a playoff guy. I don't think it's going to be dominated. It's a long race. It's a tough race. Cars that are good at the beginning aren't always good at the end. Usually get, a caution somewhere in that last stage that kind of shakes things up. Then you end with a long run a lot of the times. So pit strategy is going to be important. Tire wear going to be there as well. So hopefully it doesn't rain, which this race has been affected by rain in the past. They usually get it in, but, they've been delayed a couple times that I've been there. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we get a good race, and hopefully Hendrick car doesn't win it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this race. Last year's race was really good. The spring races here has not been great. But the Southern 500, just the drivers get a little uppity up in their step. When we come here for the Southern 500, the drivers want to win this race bad. It's a crown jewel. If you win this race, you rarely do you luck into it. It's so tough to win. It's so grueling on the driver, the equipment, the team. You got tons of pit stops throughout the race. It's a long-ass race. 500 miles at Darlington feels like 700 miles at Charlotte. It's just a grueling race. So the best drivers, tough drivers, usually win this race, usually can't luck into it. And that's what makes this race so good. Have so many fluky winners on fuel mileage and stuff like that. Darlington, rarely ever do you have that. So the best driver, the best car, at least at the end of the race, will win this race. And that's always good because it feels like you earn a win here at Darlington more than you earn by any other win that you have in your whole career. And it's, like I said, it's a crown jewel, so it means a lot, especially now it starts to playoffs, get off to a good start, advance to the round of 12, and you can kind of take 2 weeks off and kind of prepare for the round of 12. So it's a big race, and it's a grueling race, so I'm looking forward to it. Tires should matter, and people are going to make mistakes up by the wall. It's that's where you got to be to be fast and be competitive. So you're going to have guys make mistakes. It's according to who can make the least amount of mistakes at the end of the day and be up there to have a chance to win it.
Yeah, well, with that being said, I won with Chris this week. What's the score now?
18-12.
18-12.
The war of 18-12.
So I either need to win, like beat you 7 out of the next 10 races, or I need to start getting some winners right.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I think I am picking the winner. This guy has
Here's a guy.
struggled the past couple weeks. Had a very good beginning, middle part of the season. It's not been super fast the last couple weeks, but I think he's going to turn it on as far as the playoffs go. This guy that needs a championship to kind of check off his championship box. Been very good here in the past. Give me Dennis Hamlin. I think Denny's going to show up with a point to prove this week and get it done down in Darlington, South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I picked him a couple years ago when he dominated the race, and his pick crew fucked him. But he's always good here. Almost won here in the spring. Shouldn't have, but he did win. I'm going with a guy that's another pretty obvious one. He's had kind of the same thing, kind of a really slow summer. Got off to a hot start. Really hadn't done a whole lot since. Got a solid finish at Daytona last week, which is rare for him. But this guy, he's one of the best here.
Is he a bitch?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Was he a bitch with a couple laps to go in Daytona?
No, he was not. I'm going with Kyle Larson this weekend.
Yes, he was. He was 100% was a bitch in Daytona.
Oh, I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about Byron.
Fuck him too.
But yeah, give me Kyle
He
Larson.
won a couple weeks ago.
No, he didn't. He ain't won since Kansas. Talking about Larson?
No,
Oh, Byron.
Byron.
Yeah, but I'm not picking Byron. I'm
That's
picking
why
Larson.
That's why I said, why did you think of whatever?
Okay, we are not on the same page. Nah, give me Kyle Larson. He won this race 2 years ago. He won it. It might have been his only Southern 500 win, but he's been very close here in the past. And it's one of his better tracks. Won at Homestead. Last time I picked him earlier in the year, I ain't picked him since. So I'm 1 for 1 as far as Larson goes this year. So give me Larson again to get off the playoffs, start in the right direction. I feel like the 5 team's really been kind of doing a Jimmy Johnson type thing where they kind of been in the weeds during the summer, not winning any races, and then they're going to turn it on in the playoffs. So give me Kyle Larson and the 5 team to win at Darlington this weekend.
Well, got to make this quick, but it is college football this weekend.
Yep.
Some big games. I kind of already gave you my preview. Ohio State, Texas. I got Ohio State. I think that's going to be a really good game. It's going to come down to the new quarterbacks. You got Arch Manning and what's his saying?
Julian
Saying. I think Ohio State. I don't think they dominate the game, but I don't think they're going to ever be in trouble. I think if Texas is going to win the game, they got to have a quick start. I think if Ohio State gets up, they're not going to let them back. Couple other big games. You got LSU, Clemson. I'm going back and forth on who I think is going to win that game. I think it's a pick 'em. It being here in Clemson, give the edge to Clemson on that one. But I do think LSU is the real deal. I think LSU could win the national championship this year. I think they're going to be very good. I like Garrett Nussmeier a lot more than a lot of people do, but I think he's going to be good, and I think their defense is going to be a lot better this year. But that's a pick 'em. I just think Clemson's got the edge, being that it's at home.
What you know about edge?
South Carolina, Virginia Tech. I don't think this game's going to be close. You could call me a homer all you want, but South Carolina is more talented at every position on the field. I think they got the better coach. I think they got the better coordinators. I think when you have the better coaches, the better coordinators, and the better players, you're going to win the game. So I don't think it's going to be close. It's not going to be 35, but the spread's 7.5. And I think South Carolina covers that easy. So I don't think that game will be close. Am I missing?
Miami, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame by 30. I think Notre Dame's going to make the playoffs again. They played in a national championship last year. Wasn't really close there, but I think Notre Dame's very, very good. I think they'll be in the playoffs again. So I don't think Miami's that good. Granted, they do have a new quarterback, came in from Georgia, but I don't think he's that good. So I think Miami's going to be a middle-of-the-road ACC team, which a middle-of-the-road ACC team's not that good. So, yeah, it's really all I can think of as far as big games.
Yeah. Florida State, Alabama.
Alabama by 40.
Okay.
I think Alabama's going to make the playoffs this year. That's probably, I think, the toughest game. The LSU game and the Clemson game are the tough games for South Carolina this year. I think Alabama's the real deal as well. Again, they have a new quarterback, but it's kind of dependent on him. But second year with whatever their head coach's name is,
DeBoer.
DeBoer being there, I think they're going to be very good. And again, Florida State is Florida State. They'll have a good year. They'll have a bad year.
Well, it's technically supposed to be a good
They're
year.
due for a good year, but after what I saw last year, I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't know if I trust them. So Alabama by 132 in that one. Which that one is at Florida State as well, which
Yeah.
will help, but
Yeah.
I don't think it helps enough. That's Alabama.
I think the sneaky game this week that could go weirdly is Syracuse, Tennessee, because I don't think Tennessee's that good.
They're better than Syracuse.
We'll see.
They're going to the Carrier Dome, though, aren't they?
No, they're
up
playing in Atlanta. Or maybe not Atlanta.
there? Charlotte?
Maybe Charlotte. Oh, somewhere. They're neutral site. Texas, Ohio State, I agree with you. I think Ohio State wins just based off home field advantage. Both new quarterbacks, but you still got Jeremiah Smith to throw it to, so security blanket. Now, Texas did a good job in the playoff last year shutting him down, but I think this year it's going to be a little different story. Caleb Downs on defense for Ohio State's really good, and I think Arch Manning might get a pick or two. Young quarterback on the road. Texas has to get off to a good start. I don't think they will. Be a close game, though, but I got Ohio State. Alabama, Florida State. I think it'll be really close. A lot closer than the experts think.
Not so fast, my
But
friend.
I am going with Alabama. I think they win by like a touchdown, but it will be very close. I don't trust Alabama this year. I don't trust their quarterback, and I think they're going to take a down. Not a down year, but they'll have like
Similar year to they had
I
last year.
think they go 8-4 and don't make the playoff.
They gonna lose South Carolina.
I think they do. And then Notre Dame, Miami. I'm leaning towards Miami.
You're an idiot.
Not
so fast.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend. I got the U. Carson Beck, he's been there, done that. Notre Dame's a new quarterback. It's on the road at Miami. I know Miami's not a very tough place to play, but they'll be fired up. First game of the year, Miami usually shows out. And normally when Miami plays Notre Dame at home, they beat the shit out of them. Think about a few years ago with Mark Richt. They beat the shit out of Notre Dame. I know Notre Dame's a better team now, but I think Miami wins, home field advantage. Sunday night game. I think Notre Dame's going to be very good. I think they make the playoff again, but I think they lose to Miami. And then the big one, Clemson and LSU. I'm going with LSU.
Talk about my game.
I'm going with LSU. Sorry. South Carolina, Virginia Tech. Again, a lot closer than the experts think. I think South Carolina wins it, but it's going to be close. They almost lost to Old Dominion last year at home. They got shit on by North Carolina. Another
We didn't know who we were. We now know who we are.
2 years
They
ago.
are who we thought they were.
Nobody knows nothing about shit right now. First game of the year gets weird, but I think South Carolina, Lenore Sellers makes a play or two at the
Going
end
to Heisman.
to win the game for South Carolina. And then LSU, Clemson. I think Clemson wins this game, but I think they cover. I think it will be a close game, but I think Clemson, the spread's like 4. I think Clemson wins. Too much explosive
That's
plays
right, yeah.
on offense. Cade Klubnik throwing the ball to all our good receivers. And LSU's defense isn't great. Our defense isn't. I don't know what our defense is going to be this year. New coordinator in Tom Allen, came from Penn State. Should be better for our defense. Should be able to stop the run better. But I think LSU does score a lot of points on us. But I think, not a lot, but they will score some points on us. But I think this will be a lower scoring game than people think. I think it'll be 24-17 Clemson in that game.
You know what game we forgot?
What?
That's going to be just. I think it's going to be just an absolute banger. Sorry,
Delaware.
I'm looking through other games. It's the Ohio Rutgers game. that game.
I think the Minnesota
fire.
Buffalo game is going to be a good one.
Georgia Tech, Colorado.
It's a pretty good. I think Georgia Tech wins.
I do too. But
Should be a good week of college football.
With that being said, this is the first week we can say your piece first about where to follow us.
Oh yeah, appreciate you for making this far in the episode. Made this far in the episode. Drink a cold beer, shotgun a beer, drink an ice Coca-Cola. Next week we'll be able to drink a beer again on the podcast. So month off will be up. We'll have some bush lights on the podcast again, like God intended us to. And but follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast at the Highline. Hit the notification bell
Ding ding.
to get every update every time we drop an episode. And what does LSU say? Suck that Tiger dick, bitch. They gonna be sucking our dicks because go Tigers.
Go Cox.